Hello there. This is Lou White again, and I'm with Torah Institute and the Natsarim search team. And I just wanted to let you know something that's about to happen, or maybe by the time you see this, it already has happened. A friend of ours named Margaret St. Peter is, well, we're real proud of her. She's launching her first book, and she's been she has a master's degree in theology from one of the seminaries, but she's awakened, and we wanted to share this excitement with you. And we're all excited. The name of this new book of hers is The 4 Steps Through the Narrow Gate. And it's being launched as a printed book. I want to show you a picture of the cover here. And it's finishing now as a printed book. You'll probably find it on Amazon.com. But it's available right now as a Kindle. So you can buy the ebook now. It's, very inexpensive. But it's very, very interesting. Have you ever gone to your friends or family and tried to explain anything at all to them about the truth, and they go, "What? You're nuts. You're crazy. What's happened to you?" Well, and they think, I'm not really judging you, but they think that they're being judged. So this book is like sitting there as a way of saying, well, check this and see if it's possible that maybe a few things have been altered, and maybe they're really important things, and you need to know about it. And I'm not judging you, but this book will be a way for them to learn something without this face-to-face contact and this rejection. And it is a way to share the truth with somebody, and we hope that it makes its way into a lot of prisons and where people can get their lives turned around and changed. Many of us came into the truth from a pattern of living that's far different from the instructions that we find in the scriptures of truth. And we want to share it with our friends and family, but what we've discovered is so radically different that they think there's something wrong with us. We've come in contact with some kind of a cult. But actually, Nimrod has the biggest cult that can possibly be imagined. And this new book can help square them away and get them exposed to things without an argument or a debate. They can just say, well, if this is true, let me check it out. And we hope that you take a look at this book. You don't have to buy it or order it or anything, but if you wanted to look at it, you can see inside it at Amazon.com. And again, it's called The 4 Steps Through the Narrow Gate. And the author is Margaret St. Peter. I'm going to put the link below this video so that you can go right to it if you want to. It's an amazing book. Speaking the truth is going to cause a lot of the false teaching authorities to become very angry. And they're going to be screaming in pain when they find out that somebody knows the truth, because it's going to be different from what they've been teaching. So they're going to backpedal it and explain it. And but those who dig into the original Iberith, the Hebrew text, are going to find a script that's far different from most people that are teaching Hebrew, and they're showing them Aramaic, and instead of the Hebrew. And then there's the understanding of what the Old Covenant is, what the Renewed Covenant is. And in general, they're not practicing anything that they claim to follow the Mashiach, and they claim to know him and do what he says, but they don't do anything he actually does or said to do. Does no one care that they've been deceived to call on a nonsense word that's utterly impossible to have existed in our deliverer's walk on this earth? I chose to name this article Jabberwock, after a poem that many have taken to be nonsense, but yet it's ingeniously designed to contain imagery of Babel. At the age of 39, I think it was around 1872, this man, who's known as Lewis Carroll, And he was really, his real name was Charles Lutwidge Dodgson. And he was a fellow of the Anglican Circus, the Anglican Catholic Circus. A fellow is a pretty important person, that's recognized as a knowledgeable, educated person. Anyway, you're familiar with Humpty Dumpty, Alice in Wonderland. Well, The Adventures of Alice in Wonderland was his first major work. And then 6 years later, he came out with this other work, and it was called Through the Looking Glass, and that is referring to a mirror. And I think he was basically looking at the world around him, and he was seeing, the Pope and seeing the circus around him, and he had to interpret that on another level, so he wrote these books. And that's what Alice in Her Adventures in Wonderland were about. And then Through the Looking Glass was really penetrating. And he introduces this character called Jabberwock. And he has all these interesting words that are modifying pronouns and nouns. And he's wanting you to penetrate through reality and see what's behind it. That's what the mirror is about. And he was talking about, I think, Babylon, because there's too much imagery about Babel there, and the fall of the king of Babel. The king of Babel is the dragon, and he's running this world right now. However, there are a few of us that are waking up, and we're realizing that. And Humpty Dumpty sat on a wall, and all the king's he fell. Well, the king of Babel's going to fall. And all the king's horses and all the king's men could not put Humpty Dumpty back together again because, he was the king. See, Humpty Dumpty is, I think, a metaphor for the king of Babel. And people believe the king is telling you the truth, but he's not. He's actually lying to you. And when he's found out, the whole world is going to go, wait a minute, this guy's been lying to us. So everybody that's talking Jabberwock, which is a word for confusion of tongues, or confused talking, Jabberwock. Those people, when they get it exposed, that they really are uttering nonsense, that we're going to see Humpty Dumpty fall. He's in that book. I mean, that's where these characters come from. They're plays on words, and the confusion of our languages started at Babel, and our teachers seem to be unwilling to be restored to a pure lip, and desire rather to remain in the same pigsty that they were brought up in. So we just want to, invite you to download that article too. It looks like this. It's called Jabberwock. And there's a picture of the little guy. And it's a little one page. You can print this on one page. I've got it on a PDF form. And I've got Margaret's book here on the back too. You can get in touch with Amazon. But it's showing you things in here like, look at this. What is going on there? Who is that guy with the Masonic hat? He's some kind of a Nimrod. He's got a crux on his necklace. This is an ancient thing. He's a sun deity is what he is. See, the crux, or cross, was inserted into the scriptures erroneously. Instead of using staros, or staro, which means a beam or a pole, they used this word crux in the 4th century. Anyway, you're going to be shocked at that too. And one little thing I wanted to show you in a previous video, I think it was Natsarim Search Team number 4. It was kind of difficult to read those prefaces, so I'm going to put those up at the end here, and then you can look at it and say, they actually admit that they took his name out of the scriptures, and we're calling on B-A-A-L or B-E-L. Yeah, that's what's happened. I want to thank you for watching this, And we'll talk to you all again very soon. Bye.